This is William Paterson University Television.
Well, welcome back to the desk. Today we have Joe, Vinny, Anthony, and Samori here to break down the latest Pioneer football action. Fellas, last week our team went down to Union to play Kean. Box score didn't really show up too well. Samori, you were on the call for that. What did you see from the game?
Yeah, if we could take a look at the box score, it was a rough one. I'm not going to lie. It was a rough one for the Pioneers. As you see, it was a 37-0 score. You know, Kean had 294 yards. We only had 113 yards. They almost had 200 more yards than us. It was a rough one. They were running all over the place. They were able to get inside, get to our quarterback, get to our running backs. Everything was just a bad sighting.
Anthony, what do you see from the numbers there?
You got to take a look at the rush yards here. 23 for WPUNJ. Kean had was averaging and allowing almost 200 rush yards a game coming in. You got to get that number up if you want to win that game.
Vinny?
I mean, the defense and offense both look sloppy. I mean, the tackling was just really sloppy. They weren't really wrapping up. They were just kind of doing the shoulder tackling, which you can't do in these sort of games, and it just led to a loss.
Joe?
The offense just plainly didn't get the job done. They had the ball, they possessed the ball for 25 minutes, and they weren't able to score a single point. That can't happen. On top of that, Kean, one of the worst teams on fourth down in the NJAC, they went 3 for 3 against us on fourth down. That is where we really lost the game. Those tight defensive battles.
They also had 16 first downs, and we only had 6.
Yeah.
So they were able to move the chains every time they got the ball, it looks like.
Let's talk about a little bit of a silver lining, though, in the season. A couple of our freshmen won Freshman Rookie of the Week, both linebacker Yubir Rosas Herrera and running back Tariq Riddick, both earning that honor. Samori, take us through one of them. Who has a bright future?
Well, if you look at Tariq Riddick, he's only a freshman, and he's having a stellar season already. You know, he's been able to do a lot of things for the Pioneers. He's one of the running backs. If you look at his stats, he has 105 rushes on the season. He has 663 yards, 7 touchdowns. His longest rush was 85 yards, and he has 7 receptions as well. So he's a dual threat out of the backfield.
Yeah.
Tariq Riddick's been the mainstay in that offense so far. You look at the rushing yards, those are like video game numbers. He's been that good for them. Him and Marcel Mason have been the staple of that offense. I expect that to continue.
I think Tariq Riddick has the best future. I mean, he has more varsity playing time. I mean, that could change in the future, but as of right now, I could see Tariq Riddick being a lot better than Yubir, but I'm looking to see what the future.
Joe, make the case for Yubir.
Yeah, you guys got to remember this name. Yubir Rosas Herrera is the guy to look for. 6 foot, 190 pound athletic linebacker, Yubir Rosas Herrera. Guy was the NJAC Rookie of the Week, one of the first weeks he's ever played. He's only been 4 games. And if you look at the stats, I mean, he's got 7 tackles there, 2 solo tackles, the tackle for loss. That's in a very short, limited sample size. Wasn't supposed to play. Injury allowed him to get in the game. Now he's been the focal point of the defense. And I mean, the defense really the strong point of the team. The big linebacker in the middle is the table setter.
The Pioneers sitting at 2-6 right now. After a tough loss, it could be tricky for a coach to re-scheme. Samori, what would you like to see the Pioneers do differently heading into the Montclair game?
The main thing that you have to focus on, I think this is where all football starts, is the offensive line. You can't do anything without an offensive line. You can't run the ball. You can't pass the ball. You can't play action, anything if you don't have. And at the Kean game, it seems like whenever Crespo would get the snap, they were already there. And he couldn't do anything with the ball. So you got to get it down tight on the offensive line.
Yeah. The big thing for me is that they need to convert on third down more. They're 30 for 99 on third down conversion. That's about a 30% percentage on that. That's got to get better. You can't expect to win ball games if you're doing that.
Vinny?
I think they need to implement some new plays. Try to run some more pass plays. I know we're a run-based offense, but why not throw in some wildcat? Do something different.
Sure. Joe?
You got to take shots downfield. You have to throw the ball over the top to win. You guys play the video games. Half of our yards can't be on rushing. You know how much fun it is to lob the ball deep in video games? How much fun is it to watch? It just makes the team more exciting. It gives us a sense of urgency, and it keeps the defense on their toes. Now they know exactly what's happening.
Joe,
it's not fooling anyone.
We'll keep it with you now. Rivalry week this week on campus. Our interstate Route 46 rivals, Montclair State. Joe, what can we expect from this game?
So we're going to look at a little bit of a stat comparison between us and Montclair, see how we stack up against each other. So we stand at 2-6. Montclair a couple games better at 4-4. Neither of us are really great offensive teams, as you see, 14 points per game against 19. It's the opponent points per game that also is where we kind of struggle because we give up more points than they have. But the thing is, we're very evenly matched in our yards per game and our rushing yards per game. The biggest thing with Montclair is that they're not that great in the red zone. And our defense is very physical up front. I think that is our biggest chance to win, is stopping them and holding them to field goals while we score touchdowns.
We're looking for Vinny.
I think it's going to be a great atmosphere, great crowd, but it's going to be tough for them to pull off a win. Because, I mean, they're just on a streak right now, and they got to get their hopes up somehow. But I think it's going to be tough for them.
Anthony?
The one guy I'm looking at here is George Crespo. He started all game last game. I expect that to continue. I expect them to pass the ball a lot in terms of developing Crespo. Montclair's averaging 220 pass yards a game. I expect them to throw the ball a lot. They're a lot better passing team than they are rushing team. I expect the ball to be in the air most of the time.
What I'm expecting, I'm hoping the defense goes out there and punches Montclair in the face and see how they react to it. You got to come down, lay the wood, make some tackles, see what you can do, punch them in the face. If they can't react well to it, give Crespo the ball, see what we can do with it, give it to Marcel Mason, Tariq Riddick. Hopefully we get some points on the board.
William Paterson will be playing at Montclair State tomorrow at 1. I will be on the call for that, so you can listen to that one on Brave New Radio. And good luck to the Pioneers tomorrow. That's all the time we have for Willie P. Now let's head down to the ice and hear from our NHL crew. Keep it locked.